Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans. Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans. Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Truth, Lies, Shenanigans, the live show for Sunday, November 22nd, 2020. I go by the name Neo Nix, and I'll be your moderator for all the shenanigans today. Now, let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Our professor and journalist and master debater, Lizzie Enders.
What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday Fun Day. The semester is almost over. Please send some good vibes our way. I have like maybe 100 papers times 2 to grade over the next 2-3 weeks. So send all your good vibes, all your liquor my way.
And our highly cerebral Canadian rock star with the band Fallen Machine, Rob B. Rock.
Hi everyone, happy Sunday Fun Day. It's always a blast to be here. I'm so happy to see everyone that's joining in already in the live stream. Let's rock this.
All right. And our production assistant Gianni will be online moderating our Facebook comments and popping in to talk to and share some of your questions. He's not able to join us by video, but we've got her on audio. Hey Gianni.
What's up?
Hey guys, how are you? I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about today's hot topics.
We got a lot to say. We got
a lot to say.
All right, Johnny.
I have no opinion on anything.
All right, we'll see you in a bit, Gianni. All right, for today's show, we have all hot topics. Lizzie will be talking about Silver Spoon's child star Ricky Schroder helping the Kenosha killer. Rob B shares the devastation in Honduras and the consequences with COVID. And I'll be talking about Ben Carson almost dying from COVID because of the My Pillow CEO's fake treatment. Remember, our streams are live just about everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitter at TLS Live Show. And you can watch us live at truthliveshenanigans.com. Tweet Lizzie. Tweet Liz E. Remember, share the feed and
or send me liquor. Tweet or send me liquor.
remember, share the feed, invite your friends, most importantly, join in the conversation with us. We want your live comments to be part of the show. Our podcast listeners will also want to hear your comments when they're listening. So you never miss an episode, don't forget, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, or Amazon Music.
We are everywhere.
Literally everywhere. All right, guys, time for our quick fire question. Okay, let me just show you this video of Trump lawyer and former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani.
Yo, I can't believe this shit. Check it out. So let's ignore the fact that nobody's wearing masks because, you know, that shit's imaginary. yo, watch my man's over here. Yo, takes out the handkerchief, blowing his nose, takes it booger side in, smears his hands all over it,
And
wipes it into his lips, all over his face. Son, he's wiping snot.
All right, guys. Any wonder why the grand old party is a COVID petri dish, Lizzie?
A good old snotty Giuliani there, ladies and gentlemen. They just don't care. It's a sense of entitlement. It's hubris. It's I am better than all of you low lives, even though we're the ones getting COVID.
Robbie Rock?
So yeah.
He'll be fine. He's taking hydroxychloroquine, the lupus medication for COVID. And I can't believe that people take this clown seriously. They take COVID advice from someone who can't operate a hanky.
Can't operate a hanky, and remember, he still has his hands in his pants from Borat.
They already call him Giuliani. I figured maybe we should change his name to the Booger Man.
Bugliani.
I mean, that's literally the most disgusting thing I've seen. I mean, he literally just, oh my God,
Yo.
I mean, I'm scared to show it again, but I mean, he literally takes the boogers and rubs it over his mouth and his face.
We teach 3-year-olds better than that. This man is like, what, 79,000? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's just disgusting to look at. I mean, and just when he puts it on his face, though.
It's the smile on his face.
Booger juice and COVID everywhere.
And he's in a public forum. I mean, he's on stage and then, anyway. All right, guys. So let me tell you, our viewers, what Truth Lies Shenanigans is all about. We'll be sharing our truths and opinions with you, calling out the lies and pointing out the ridiculous shenanigans going on. But most importantly on this show, we have fun with shenanigans of our own. But we do have a single rule. The rule is specifically for Lizzie for the most part. No cussing.
I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep it clean. Keep it clean. But stop blaming the black girl for everything.
All right, guys, let's roll right into our hot topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, one of our hosts will start us out and tell us their hot topic. If it's a truth, lie, or shenanigans, they'll tell us exactly what went down. Then we'll talk about it. And then once our friend Gingy shows up, he'll let us know the time is up, and we'll stop talking about it and go to our live audience questions and comments online, and we'll bring back Gianni, and she'll share your comments and questions with us, and we'll talk about it for a little bit more. So make sure you're talking to Gianni online, guys.
Gigi Gianni.
He's waiting for you.
Guys,
All right.
Oh gosh. Well, what's her pseudonym? Hold up, I forgot it. Is it Hazel Love? Was that what it was?
Hazel Valentine. That's right.
Hazel Valentine.
Yes, that's our girl.
Yep, we got it.
That's
I'm Hazel Valentine by night.
By night. All right. So once we're
That's
done,
for
we'll
the
go on to the
Wednesday
next
8
host and their
show.
topic. All right. For today, we're going to start out with Rockstar Rob B. Is this a truth,
What you
lie, or
got,
shenanigans?
This is a very sad truth, very sad state of affairs. There's been the hurricane season off the Atlantic has been particularly active this year in 2020. And currently in Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, we're going to see a large humanitarian crisis. So last week on the 16th, Hurricane Iota, which was a Category 5 hurricane, slammed into the coast. And if anybody remembers, Hurricane Eta on November 3rd, just 2 weeks prior, had made landfall. So that was a Category 4. What we're seeing in the video is just some of the devastation in the regions. Now, a lot of the relief organizations and the relief work that are being done are being handled by the Red Cross. And this is no different. The Red Cross is taking an active role in trying to help people as much as possible during this. At this point, dozens have perished throughout this weather event. The storm has unleashed mudslides, it's damaged infrastructure, and it's left tens of thousands homeless across Central America. And like I said, this is just revisiting it just after 2 weeks with Hurricane Eta. So the rain hasn't let up, the water hasn't let up. And because this has been such an active hurricane season, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of people who have been displaced. We're talking from Tabasco, Mexico, all the way through Panama just this month. Now, the secondary danger because of all of this,
I'm looking at.
people are being.
I just want to jump in. So I'm looking at all these. I'm looking at these images in this video, and this is crazy. I mean, all of the water just in the streets and everywhere.
And that's it. It's weeks of rain and just these incredibly powerful storms that are moving in. And as you can see, the relief efforts are nonstop. They're trying to get people out into aid centers as quickly as possible. But because there are so many people being displaced, the conditions in the relief centers are absolutely deplorable. There's no proper way to socially distance. There are no masks. There's not enough soap to go around for proper sanitization and just basic hygiene. So the secondary hit is going to be the COVID pandemic, and they're already seeing positive tests for some of the people that are in need of aid, and with some of the relief workers. So this is going to turn into a horrible humanitarian crisis. And like I was mentioning earlier, the Red Cross is very involved. If you've got a little bit that you can share, if you have a little bit that you can pay forward, I know that times are tough for everyone during the COVID pandemic. We're all suffering in our own unique way, but these people are in desperate need of help at this time. And yeah, Liz, Neo, please, some reaction, some discussion around this.
I think it really broadens the scope of the coronavirus pandemic, because we only think about it in this small bubble, if you will, of okay, it's corona and that's it. It's the immediate virus and the complications surrounding that. And we don't really think about the after effects or the side effects of that, or how it could reach beyond that. But here's a situation where people are already dealing with a pandemic, if you will. They're dealing with a natural disaster, if you will, one that we are familiar with here in this country. And so imagine going through that devastation, because we've had horrible hurricanes in this country over the years. But imagine going through that, just trying to save yourself from that, but then have to think about, okay, I have to socially distance properly while I try to save myself from the floods, while I try to get food, while I try to figure out where my family is. And these are people that, may not, or governments that may not have had the equipment to even deal with the pandemic without a hurricane. And so you're thinking, okay, if I'm trying to survive the rising floods, all of this disease and possible, displacement that comes from that, am I really thinking about wearing a mask? Are there masks available to me? And so this is something, again, that we haven't really considered, like how far reaching this virus is beyond the initial, okay, you got it, go quarantine for 14 days. And this is why I get so annoyed with people, Republicans, who don't take it seriously, because it's not just the immediate. It's not just, Donald Trump or Ben Carson or Donald Trump Jr. saying, okay, I got it, but I'm a superhero. I'm asymptomatic. It doesn't really affect me. I'm going to recover. And in most cases, it's a hoax anyway. No, it's not. It's very real. And you are now starting to see the people who aren't of the 1%, the people who don't have or who aren't a part of the upper class, how it is affecting them as they try to deal with regular real life situations. It's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible. Neo?
Yeah. So for me, and actually, Kevin Thaxton said something really important. For me,
Yeah.
it seems like the first thing I think is environmental. And so Kevin Thaxton said when hurricanes get Greek letter designation, something is clearly wrong with the environment. And so my first thoughts were, man, this is like what we're seeing as the effects of how we're treating the environment. And Lizzie was talking about how we're talking about COVID, and I get the COVID issue, but man, we need to really think about our, you know, global warming. I mean, clearly this is a cause, a part of what's happening with global warming. The sheer number of hurricanes this year is incredible. Like he said, I mean, if you're going into the Greek, and we're not just getting into the Greek letter designations, we're on iota. It started with alpha. So, we are. This is crazy. And yes, the humanitarian issues, as far as COVID, are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we are in a time where people are just dying all across the world, and I mean, they're not going to be able to receive the treatments that people like Trump are able to get. And so we're going to be looking at a huge devastation here. Huge devastation.
Absolutely,
Or
because
even
ETA wiped out the initial, just with ETA, that wiped out a lot of the infrastructure to begin with. So what little infrastructure they had left was then decimated by a Category 5 right on the tail end of it. So, where do you go to get intubated? Where do you go for help? And further to your global warming, I found some really scary stats, because and that's a big part of the reason, because the sea surface temperatures has remained very warm in the Western Atlantic and over the Caribbean region, with around 30 degrees Celsius across the entire western portions of the Caribbean Sea. So it's about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And with the rising waters
Wow.
and with that temperature, we're getting a lot more torrential downpour when these storms do manifest themselves. So there's stronger storms and there's more surface moisture to pull on land, which results in this incredible flooding.
listen, my goddaughter in Finland, she sent me, Paulina, moi puka. She sent me a picture from 2 days ago where Finland got its first full snow of the fall winter 2020 season, which in November, almost December, is pretty late. But it's snowing in Finland, and I think I teased you about this a few weeks ago, Robbie.
In
It's
Canada.
snowing in Finland. It snowed in Canada. My AC, my air
He
conditioner
says
is still
Finland and Canada, though.
Washington. But listen,
Uh,
when we grew up, it was not these warm temperatures in DC. Not like this. We did not have AC blasted. It was 81 degrees in my apartment when I woke up yesterday. 81 degrees. That tells you something is happening
No question.
with the climate, with global warming in this world, in this atmosphere, and we don't want to pay attention to it. And because of it,
We do.
my electricity, my Pepco bill is through the roof, through the roof, through the roof. And it did not snow in DC last year. We had no snow for the winter.
Yeah, it was like minimal, like I think less an inch or two, right? I think it was.
I would say maybe less. It was like a dusting for the whole winter.
For the
It was
whole
ridiculous.
winter.
Yeah. People are going to start paying attention when they're directly impacted. So the main exports from these regions are cocoa, coffee, rice, and flowers. So when you can't get your Starbucks, when you can't get your Dunkin' at the price that you are accustomed to getting it at, when you can't buy, when your staple foods like rice, when you can't get pretty flowers, we really need to take a look at the industries that we're doing, the type of farming that people have to do in dangerous areas to feed someone's fix.
All right, Gianni, let's get to some of the comments online. What are we seeing?
Okay, sure. So Mike Winter says, Alf took some of that FEMA money, by the way. So we don't have enough money for American hurricane relief, despite warnings from NOAA.
From Noah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and of course this isn't happening. IOTA really didn't hit hard in the U.S., but yeah, that's crazy.
Kevin Thaxton said, when hurricanes get Greek letter designation, something may be wrong with the environment, like you mentioned earlier. Yeah. Also, Jose said, our self-isolation is really not that bad compared to what these poor souls are living. And I agree with that completely.
Yeah, no question.
Right. No question.
I like Kevin Thaxton's other comment where he said, wait, so no cocaine, Robbie?
Cocaine. Right.
No farming cocaine anymore? Okay.
No chocolate bars.
I also wanted to mention Rebecca said, so sad about the polar bears. We are to take care and take control of our planet and all the creations inside of it. That's true.
Yeah.
Our responsibility.
Yeah. Polar bears everywhere. All right. Thank you, Gianni, for the comments. Thanks for the comments online, everyone.
Thank you, Robbie.
All right. Thanks, Robbie, for that. Oh, and don't forget, make sure you do think about donating to the Red Cross for Honduras Relief. It's www.redcross.org or text Red Cross to 90999 for a $10 contribution. So please do that if you can. All right, next hot topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, this one is me. So a little lighter. Well, not really, but.
Not really.
All right, so renowned heart surgeon, one-time presidential candidate, and Trump's HUD secretary, Ben Carson, recently came down with coronavirus. Now he, Trump, and the MyPillow CEO, Mike Lindell, have been touting a therapeutic cure using a toxic plant.
Yo, I can't believe this shit.
Wrong video there. Let's get it right.
He just wanted to go back to snooty.
The president is backing a new unproven potential treatment for the coronavirus. It's called oleandrin, and it's an extract from a plant, oleander, that can be highly dangerous. Mike Lindell is the CEO and founder of MyPillow. You have no medical background. You're not a scientist. A guy called you in April, said he had this product. You are now on the board and going to make money from the sale of this product. The reason he reached out to you is because you have the ear of the president who did the test.
You'd have to talk to, I guess you'd have to have Dr. Carson and then the company, all the tests that were done on your...
Yeah, so, well, Carson did decide to use his cure that he'd been touting, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, it didn't work. Carson found himself gravely ill. So Trump offered his multiclonal antibody therapy, which, by the way, pro-lifers should be aware, was tested in cells derived from aborted fetal tissue.
Ooh!
And now Ben Carson says he's out of the woods and he's better. He's getting better. So my question to you guys, should there be consequences for being the proverbial snake oil salesman, taking a profit at the expense of American lives, or should they get off without consequence? Consequence having suffered. I mean, he's got COVID, so did he get off, Robbie?
It's not the first time that we hear a commercial from the White House for Big Pharma, for their friends in Big Pharma, and that there should absolutely be consequences with that, because that message should be derived from the medical experts that work with the POTUS. That's where he should be getting that information, not from his snake oil buddies, his CEOs, those who stand to profit from the sale of a product that may not have been tested completely, that still hasn't received its FDA approval. It's been absolutely shameful, deplorable, and completely unethical. It puts people at risk with some of their misinformation, like what I was talking about, the hydroxychloroquine in the quick fire. There are lupus sufferers that can't patient because Trump has touted it as a cure for COVID, which it is not. So it's I, if it's coming from the POTUS or someone in a position of leadership, it should be at the very least reckless endangerment. But in this case, with how it's been completely mismanaged, I would love to see various states go after him for manslaughter, murder charges, because it has been completely mishandled. It's in a dangerous fashion.
Lizzie?
I mean, why would anyone pay attention to the pillow, the My Pillow
Yes,
guy?
yeah.
Like he doesn't even have the best pillow on the market, first and foremost. So anything that he has to say. But also, weren't we here like what, 5-6 months ago with the African wannabe COVID doctor, selling all of her snake oil, Stella Emanuel, and she was talking about, COVID and
Demon
a
sperm.
whole demon
Yeah.
sperm and a whole other stuff. And so it's just, I don't know how you regulate how people come out and say they have a cure for XYZ. I mean, this is a free market, free society. So I don't know. And a lot of these people who say these things don't live in the United States. But I do think that, someone like Ben Carson should know better. And if you are listening, if you are watching, we don't know what Ben Carson took. Like he could be saying, he took something from the pillow guy. He took this other, drug, what have you, that, he got on a special list
They are
because he was
liars anyway.
we don't know any of that. And he is protected by HIPAA laws from us getting that information. But even still, he could be out there being a snake oil artist himself. Listen to your doctors, listen to the known experts. If there really was this little, cure, antidote on the side, wouldn't you think that someone else besides Ben Carson, someone else besides the guy who is trying to sell you pillows, in the middle of the night at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, wouldn't you think more people would have an idea of what this is and how it can be accessible to you? Like, stop falling for this, overnight, okay, quick pro quo. Let me just get something quick and be done with it. And again, we really don't know what Trump took while he had
We
COVID.
don't.
We
I mean,
really don't even know
that's true.
what
We
his
don't.
symptoms were, how sick he was. So don't fall for it. Do not fall for it, people. Don't. And how come Herman Cain didn't get any of this good stuff?
Yeah, I don't think
Remember,
they had that treatment at that point.
well, initially Herman Cain said he took the what's the drug for the lupus drug?
The
Hydroxychloroquine.
hydroxychloroquine.
Initially, they were saying that he took that, and he still is no longer with us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think Anderson Cooper had it right. These people are just in it to make money. I mean, and that's their goal. And the problem is he had the ear of the president. They have the ear of the president. So the president has his 39 million or whatever, it's some ridiculous number of followers. So he tweets out this hydroxychloroquine. He tweets out this Oleander treatment or whatever. And
Oleander. There's a book, White Oleander.
oleander treatment. And so all he has to do is tweet it out, and these guys make a ton of money off of people who are just stupid and don't do their research, or people who are just tuned into Donald Trump and listens to whatever he says. I mean, again, he had 70 million votes, more than 70 million votes.
73.
So, I mean, people listen to what he says, and so they're just out to make money. I mean, it is all snake oil. This anti-clonal therapy, multi-clonal therapy is obviously a good therapy. It's obviously working if it is true. But the problem is it's not available to everyone. So
it's not been approved. It has not been approved.
It's not been approved, and it's not available to everyone. So the only people that get this treatment that's apparently working very well is Trump and his friends and people who are willing to test it out on themselves to survive. I mean, if it were me, I'd try to take it too. If I had COVID and I was deathly ill, I'd try it. But again, it's kind of ridiculous. It's all about the rich getting richer and the rich helping the rich.
One interesting thing that you shared about the Regeneron is that they use fetal tissue.
Yes.
So how does that fit with the ideology of Trump's supporters? Okay, so yes, this can fix you, but it comes from dead babies.
Yeah, they tested it on fetal tissue.
Do as I say.
They tested it on fetal tissue.
Do as I say, not as I do. I don't know if you've seen over the past, I would say 5-10 years, Robbie, but there have been a few anti-abortion senators in this country who have been very outspoken about how they are against Planned Parenthood, how they're against abortions or whatever. And then it comes out, their ex-girlfriends, their ex-mistresses come out and say, oh, he tried to encourage me. He tried to force me to have an abortion. So it's like, do as I say, not as I do. This doesn't apply to me and my family. Mm-hmm. This applies to you out there. And Gingy's going to come up for a quick second, but I want to, compare this to diabetes and diabetics, because I see this as being very similar in terms of the medicine that's involved. A lot of people in this country believe in holistic medication. They don't believe, in a lot of medication from pharmaceutical companies. They don't have the money to pay their doctors. So they believe in a lot of remedies. Whoop, 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 whoop. They believe in a lot of remedies, a lot of holistic medication that you can't get at the pharmacy. A lot of things that are made from the earth, that are made from plants, that are made in your kitchen or whatever. None of that is going to cure my diabetes. And I don't know how many times I have to tell people this. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have a pancreas that doesn't work. If I don't take insulin, I probably have 48 hours, and then I'm dead. And that's not a very easy 48 hours. It's a very painful 48 hours. But you see a lot of this talk in, people who have chronic conditions where they rely on medicine, and they have people on the outside trying to encourage them. Well, no, maybe you could take this. My cousin, my auntie, my great aunt, they got cured because of this. No, they didn't. And I know I could not be cured because of that. So do not listen to the guy that is doing infomercials making pillows. He is not going to cure you.
And to your point, it's those Trump followers that are easily convinced. They're gullible. They're easily taken advantage of because of the lack of knowledge and oftentimes the lack of education.
And every day we read a story about one of those Trump followers who have been steadfast in their belief that it's not that serious. They don't have to wear a mask, or they can take these alternative medications, and then they die 2 weeks later.
Or they come back surviving and said, oh, I made a mistake, I was wrong. But because they're listening to the wrong people.
Yeah.
I'll be glad when he's gone. I mean, January 20th can't come fast enough for me. Gianni, comments online? Questions?
Yes. So Jacqueline Robinson said medical advice from the same guy who helped to pay the $2 million bail of a teenage murderer.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
We have to get
We're going to
into
talk
that.
about that. We're going to get into that too, but that's absolutely right. He did help.
Yep, that's true. Also, Kevin Thaxton said there are always going to be opportunistic scammers that take advantage of a society in dire strait to the gallows.
Snake oil. To the
Daria
gallows, kill
Winter
him. He
said,
wants to kill him. That's good. Okay, go with that.
kill him.
What?
Daria Winter said, so a man does not wear a mask to prevent the virus is an expert on telling you how to cure it?
Okay. Right. Preach, Daria, preach.
And then lastly, Mike Winter, he says stupidity won't go away on January 20th. That comment's for you, Nia.
Yeah, but it won't go away.
It won't.
But we can like put them in the closet, if you will. We can put them in the back of the closet.
But at least they're not going to be listening to stupidity. At least stupidity doesn't have a platform, won't have as large a platform anymore.
Power.
Right.
It won't be coming directly from the office of the president.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. All right, Johnny, thank you so much. Any questions online for us?
Let's see. Do we have any questions?
I see one from Daria. So a man does not wear a mask to prevent the virus. Oh, you did read that question already.
All right. Jacqueline has a question. She said, "How come Walter Reed doctors had to sign NDAs? Some don't even know if IQ 45 was." She said some don't even know that IQ 45 was actually sick. How come does Walter Reed doctors have to sign NDAs?
So
Jacqueline, I think that has to do with HIPAA. Like, you know, if you are a patient in a hospital, you are, you know, guarded against people giving your information out to the public. Like, it's confidential. Whatever type of treatment that you have, whatever you're going through, whatever conversations that you have, whatever diagnosis that you have, that is, you know, confidential between you and your doctor. And I agree. Like, I think that they should have some type of NDA that they, you know, have to fill out. But that then goes into the transparency of the office of the presidency.
But NDA is slightly different. It's slightly different than HIPAA laws. So HIPAA, by the way, is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the U.S. That, again, as Lizzie says, that doctors can't disclose any kind of medical information without approval from the patient or their guardian or whatever. But the NDA is slightly different. He can see.
But if I'm a celebrity, I don't want, if I'm admitted into a hospital, I don't want some nurse selling all of my information to the public. Like I have no problem with the NDA. I have no problem with that. Once when you're in the hospital, you're in a vulnerable state. And that should not be exposed by people trying to get money, by people trying to go to TMZ, People Magazine, or whatever. So I have no problem with the NDA. My problem is with the White House and not being transparent about, because this is the president, and not being transparent about what's going on. Like, remember when his doctor would give these press conferences, he wasn't altogether truthful. Like, he would dance around all of the questions that were being asked of him. And these weren't confidentiality questions. These were basic questions that, you know, you would expect that one would answer about the president of the United States. Is he healthy? Well, let me just go to my medical journal and read off this blah, blah, blah. No, bruh. Is he healthy? Is he crazy? Like, let's just go.
All right. Thanks, Gianni. All right, next hot topic. This Z Enders.
Shenanigans.
This is another deep one.
Is this
good segue too? Truth Lies Shenanigans.
This is sad truth, unfortunately. This is sad truth. So I know you guys, especially you 40-somethings out there, 30-somethings maybe as well. I know you guys remember back in the 80s when we all used to watch Ricky Stratton on Silver Spoons. His best friend was Derek, played by Jason Bateman. His other best friend was Alfonso, played by Alfonso. And so we loved this show. It was about a little boy. He had a father who owned, like, I think a toy company or something. They were rich, and he was living the life that we wanted to live. Like, he had a train track in his house or whatever, and it was fun. It was fun. It was something out of the ordinary. Well, the main character for that, Ricky Schroder, he's had some interesting things happening to him over the years. But most recently, it was disclosed a couple of days ago that he is a Cal Rittenhouse supporter. Now, you guys might remember Cal Rittenhouse. He was a 17-year-old from Illinois who illegally took a gun, a firearm. I can't remember the caliber weapon that it was, but he took a gun across state lines to Minnesota to a protest in Minnesota and decided that he was going to confront some of the protesters, got into a confrontation, killed 2 of them, and injured a third. And he was arrested subsequently, not immediately, but subsequently arrested, charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count, I believe, of attempted murder, if you will. And so shortly after he was arrested, a lot of people online, a lot of Trump supporters, a lot of Proud Boys, a lot of white supremacists decided that he was the one that was wrong, that he was within his rights to kill these BLM, Black Lives Matter supporters, even though all 3 of the people that he shot were white, which is really weird. But they decided that they were going to start a GoFundMe for Mr. Kyle Rittenhouse. They decided that they were going to start to raise money for his legal campaign. And so he was released on bail, $2 million bail, a couple of days ago. And it came out that Ricky Schroder, our little Ricky Stratton, was one of the people who spearheaded that GoFundMe campaign and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, or I'm sorry, donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this 17-year-old killer out of jail. So I say to our Truth Live Shenanigan audience, I say to our panel here, my boys here, what do you have to say about little Ricky Schroder?
I'll let Robbie start. I got like
Yeah, it's disappointing. When it, like you said, like it's someone that you kind of grew up with. It was a TV personality that you became acquainted with, enamored with, and I said it was a fun show. And Ricky Schroder was a beloved child star. It's just a shame to see that so many of these former child stars end up going a little crazy later on in the years. It's that the industry.
Talking about you, Scott Tashi.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's an industry that really just uses them up. It devoids them of so much of their humanity, and then you end up getting someone who's going to support a young murderer. That's this Kenosha killer. It's shameful. It really, really is.
And I think Robbie, I think that's the thing that some of these people are not paying attention to. Like, this isn't a kid who just got in trouble. This isn't a kid who was smoking weed or was selling a little bit of drugs on the side. He killed 2 people. He killed 2 people. And to be so flippant about that is mind-boggling. Neo?
if I'm being honest, my first thought was, who the hell cares about Ricky Schroder? I mean, yeah, I mean, he's done some recent stuff, obviously, but he's really a nobody at this point. My only disappointment is that we can't cancel him because he's already kind of been canceled. So, but
this ruffled a lot of feathers. I think this was kind of nostalgic for a lot of people.
I mean, it is.
Ricky Schroder?
Yeah.
Little Ricky Schroder?
I mean, he's one of those people I was happy to see that he had gotten another job, and I was like, oh, good, Ricky Schroder's back and stuff like that. But,
he was on NYPD Blue. He was on NYPD Blue. He was Danny Sorensen on NYPD Blue for 3 seasons. Then they killed him off because he got a little crazy. But yeah.
But now, in a way, I mean, I get some of the support for Rittenhouse because, he was a kid influenced by people like Trump. And, somebody should be fighting for a child who had poor influences in his life. But my frustration is none of these people are fighting against the problem, which is the hatred and the bigotry and the violence, mostly empowered by people like Donald Trump. So, I mean, it's hypocritical. You want to claim to be helping someone, who, is a child and with bad influences and things like that. But why are we fixing the bad influences? Why aren't we talking about that? Why, and I Kevin Thaxton just had a comment. He says, how does this support all lives matters? I mean, because, you know, it doesn't support that at all. I mean, if you're talking about all lives matter, but then this child kills a couple of people, then all lives don't matter.
Well, and All Lives Matter has always been hypocritical. The only purpose of All Lives Matter was to be an affront to Black Lives Matter. All Lives Matter. All Lives Matter did not exist before Black Lives Matter. And you only hear people throwing around the term, the mantra, the slogan, All Lives Matter, when someone says Black Lives Matter. That's the only time you hear about it.
That's true.
Or
Blue Lives Matter.
See, I mean, let's talk about, our boy, and Mike Winter brought up his name is Rick. No, he pretty Ricky to us. He's still pretty Ricky to us. But Ricky Schroder, he's had a rough couple of years. He got married in 1992 when he was 22 years old. His then wife was 18 years old. They were married, I believe, for 24 years, if I'm not mistaken, had 4 children. And then she filed for divorce in 2016. After she filed for divorce, he kind of, took to the bottle a little bit. In 2019, he was arrested twice for domestic violence against his then girlfriend.
I believe it.
And then his family tried to do an intervention because they said that he was partying too much. He was dibbling dabbling too much in the drink, maybe the purple drink with Lil Wayne. Who knows? But now you're saying that, this guy is supposed to be someone that is credible and he has morals and standards to the point where he thinks that Kyle Rittenhouse has been illegally arrested and was justified in killing these 2 people. Bro, you can't even get your life together.
Why is it that always these violent, evil people with domestic violence issues are always supportive of people like them? And unfortunately, they're in positions of power and money.
They justify their actions. They justify their actions. But I mean, there are other people who are more worthy out there, even if you aren't a fan of Black Lives Matter. There are other causes out there that are more worthy of you starting up a GoFundMe, of you bailing someone out of jail, than this little kid who purposely, even before he decided to, start packing and go from Illinois to Minnesota, he had posted a lot of racist rhetoric on his social media sites, a lot of white supremacist rhetoric on his social media sites. There are more people out there that are worthy of your goodwill than this little motherfucker. And yeah, I'll take.
We really need to figure out the new punishment for that. And we just.
But I mean, come on. And so that's why I'm disappointed.
So there is a comment that came in on YouTube chat from VZ727. He says, I'm Black, and if attacked by multiple attackers, I would have self-defense myself. I would have defense myself too by shooting as well. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that
you weren't supposed to be there?
I mean,
Your little ass was supposed to be in Illinois at 17 without any arm, without any guns. Like, you went there illegally.
Did we explain exactly what Kyle Rittenhouse did?
I thought I did.
Okay, you probably did. So, yeah, with him having shot like 2 people, I mean, I don't know. When I first saw the video, I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw the video and he was being attacked, or, well, actually, people were trying to stop him. But when he
was
trying
to take the gun away from him. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to disarm him.
Right.
They weren't him. They were trying to disarm him.
But my first thought was that, hey, this was self-defense, and he was. But then when you understand the situation, it wasn't self-defense. It wasn't.
No, because it's something that it's a situation that he created. He took a firearm. He crossed state lines illegally. He went to an area with a lot of unrest. He went looking for the situation, and then when it escalated, he responded in an appropriate fashion because he was threatened. Well, no, he put himself in harm's way. This would be equivalent if he drove across straight lines while he is pounding back liquor, and by the time he got to where the distress was, he would have driven through. Okay, well, yeah, he was okay on the way through, but it's the same type of logical fallacy. Yep. He is 100% responsible for what happened.
Yeah. But let me ask you this also: that YouTuber, you said that person is black.
He said he was black. Yes.
He said he was black. Okay, let me just get my Genji on real quick before I get to this question. So let's just, turn the tables a little bit. Let's say this was, another type of protest. And someone from Black Lives Matter, a black male from Black Lives Matter, traveled from New York City to Indiana with a gun and decided that he was going to confront some protesters, and he shot 2 of them, killing them and injuring a 3rd. Mm-hmm. Do you think that it would have the same positive, oh, woe is this particular killer, as what Kyle Rittenhouse? First of all, he would have been shot because there were police that were observing what was happening in the area, and they did nothing to disarm Kyle Rittenhouse, first and foremost. Second, if that were a black man, we would be talking a whole nother protest right now, because they would have shot him down in the street. So let's keep the focus on what's real here. This guy was given, 17-year-old was given privileges because he had the complexion for the protection. And the reason why people like Ricky Schroder are supporting him, why he had like a GoFundMe that raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, is because he is white. If that had been a black male supporting Black Lives Matter, we would be having a totally different conversation. 100%.
Before we get to Gianni's questions, I do want to bring up Sonia C. Elias' comment here, where she says, was anyone really supposed to be there? We're under national emergency with the pandemic. Didn't everyone violate curfew?
I don't know what the curfew was, but even if curfew was violated, that doesn't mean you need to get shot in the street by someone who was out of state with an illegal firearm.
Robbie, did you ever thought on that?
It's during a pandemic scenario, and while there's a curfew in effect, no, people shouldn't be out, but people were out for reasons that are very important. It's an entire movement. I can appreciate why people would defy these orders in order to further the agenda, to further the discourse, the dialogue, to enact change in society, because there's a desperate need of change. It would be wonderful if it could be done peacefully, while socially distanced, while masked, while there's no curfew in effect. But unfortunately, this wasn't the reality at the time.
All right, Gianni, what do we have going on online?
Okay, we have a question from Salah. Some people show their racism by saying offensive jokes. Ricky Schroder goes all in with $2 million to show he's a racist. Shaking my head.
Yeah, he didn't put up the whole 2 million, right? I mean, part of it was the My Pillow CEO and something like that, right, Lizzie?
Yeah, so he's all over the place, right?
He's all over the place right now.
He gave some money. Ricky Schroder gave some money, and then there was a lot of money that was raised online through GoFundMe. And so I just want to go back to another point that Sonia made. She was like, well, people on the other side were armed as well. I mean, looking at that video, you really can't tell who was on which side in some situations. But again, we aren't talking about the other people. We're talking specifically about this young man who legally did not have the right to be there. One, he came from Illinois to Minnesota, crossed state lines. One, he's not old enough to have a firearm. He certainly isn't old enough to cross state lines with a firearm. So his little ass should have been at home in bed, getting ready for school or summer school the next day. So he wasn't supposed to be there to begin with. So first and foremost, if he had been at home, if not for the fact that he did something illegally when he left home, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened.
All right, Johnny, what else we got?
We have a comment from Mike Winter, who said violated curfew and went looking for trouble. He initially shot someone and then they tried to disarm him. The video we saw after the first murder.
Yep.
And we have a question from
at home. Stay at home.
Yeah. The question from Daria, she asked, where is the discussion going? Let the murderer out of prison in South Carolina who shot up the churchgoers in South Carolina. the police gave that Rittenhouse guy water.
Yeah, they did.
Well, and again, they didn't try to disarm him right away. They
That's
let him.
true.
I mean, they didn't arrest him
after-
until days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
No,
after the
but
fact.
I mean, he literally walked
he-
past the police.
He
Yeah.
walked past a rank of police officers.
He even
Tell
spoke
me,
to the police officer
in
and then
what
continued
city
on.
in the United States would a black man be afforded that luxury? In what city in the United States? Not even in D.C. Not even in Washington, D.C.
Sonia also mentioned, wasn't he acquitted of those firearm charges? The firearm did not cross state lines.
How did the firearm not cross state lines when he took the firearm from Illinois to Minnesota? And there was no acquittal of anything because there hasn't been a trial.
We should double check that.
There you go.
But Rupka says, I just want to add this. So Rupka, to your comment, Lizzie, Rupka said, my ass would still be sitting in jail for a cannabis charge. Hashtag white privilege. Or shot dead from the cop that caught me. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, he walked right past the police. They looked the other way. I mean, he's an armed guy, and they just like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, any last comments, Gianni?
Yes. There's a lot of people going back and forth in the comment section, but Kevin Thaxton asked, how is his mother not charged for aiding him?
That's interesting.
So I think because the guy who bought, so he again, for those who aren't paying attention, he wasn't even old enough to buy a firearm. Okay, so again, he had it illegally. He shouldn't have had it. The guy who bought him the firearm and gave it to him is a 19-year-old young man. He has been charged for that. So we have two separate charges here, and so that's wasn't charged because she didn't give him the gun. He got the gun from the friend who bought the gun for him. Now, in terms of other charges of her transporting him, I don't know anything about that. But the young man who bought the firearm for Kyle Rittenhouse has also been charged.
Okay, good. All right, Johnny, we're going to see you back shortly for our game show. All right, that's it for Hot Topics. Thank you guys for all your comments and questions. A very fiery conversation going on right now.
No pun intended with these firearms. No pun intended.
Thanks for that topic, Lizzie. It was very, very good. All right, guys, let's get into our game show. We'll lighten the mood up a little bit.
Maybe. We'll see how badly you cheat. Like this. How badly you cheat.
All right, let's bring Gianni back in. Today's game show is Thanksgiving trivia. Now, unfortunately for Rob B, this is U.S. Thanksgiving trivia and not Canadian Thanksgiving trivia.
So give me this one. I know this one.
All right.
Robbie, tell the audience very quickly, when was Canadian Thanksgiving?
That was just a couple of weeks ago. I don't have a specific date for you because I'm horrible with that. If it's anything with a moving date.
I'm the same.
It's a couple of weeks back.
4 weeks ago. So, he already did it. We're late as usual.
And rather than have a feast with all the family at home, we opted to just prepare the food and deliver it to our loved ones. Just because of the pandemic that's happening all around us, we decided to hedge our bets towards keeping everyone healthy. And
we had
for the team this year.
Thing actually. Yeah, but anyway, so we'll see how Rob B does being U.S. trivia. But we'll go around the horn. I'll ask you a question, read the options, and you'll answer as quickly as you can. Get it right, you get a point, and Gianni will take care of the points. Person with the most points wins the game, and we'll end our show with the final thought of the day. This is a sample question. Sorry, Rob B. Where did the first U.S. harvest feast of Thanksgiving take place? What's the answer, Rob B, since you already know it?
Plymouth.
That is right, Plymouth Colony. First official Thanksgiving feast.
My neighbors had a Plymouth growing up.
Had a Plymouth.
They don't make that car anymore.
All right, Lizzie, let's go ahead and start. What Native American was honored at the first Thanksgiving feast? Geronimo, Sacagawea, Tonto, or Squanto?
Say Geronimo.
That is
I honestly
incorrect.
have no idea.
Not Tonto. Squanto.
Say second, yeah.
Squanto helped the
Tonto is the
settlers
Lone
survive in the New
Ranger.
World by teaching them how to catch eel and grow corn.
What's it again?
Squanto helped the settlers survive in the New World by teaching them how to catch eel and grow corn.
And they scalped him for all of his efforts. No good deed.
Do we know that he scalped them? All right. All right, Robbie, what type of meat was served at the first Thanksgiving? Turkey, venison, chicken, or buffalo?
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm going to say venison.
Yeah, I was thinking
That would
venison.
be my choice.
Yes. There's no
That would be
evidence
my-
that turkey was eaten at the first Thanksgiving, a 3-day meal shared between the pilgrims in 1621, but Pilgrim says 5 deer, offering deer.
Neo, scroll back up for a little bit. Scroll back up for a little bit. So wait, go back to the meat option. So how many of you had to have turkey? The 3 of you or the 2 of you? Turkey?
Yeah.
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 What about chicken?
Yes.
Buffalo?
I've actually had buffalo. Yep. Or
Okay.
ground buffalo.
Venison?
Ground buffalo burger. I've had venison.
All right, how was it? Tastes like beef?
No, it doesn't taste
No,
quite
no,
like
venison isn't. No,
more like
venison doesn't taste
lamb.
like beef.
Closer to lamb, actually.
I've
Closer. I
had
mean, it doesn't
turkey.
taste like lamb, but closer to lamb.
I've had turkey, chicken, and buffalo. Remember, I went to I lived in Colorado for 5 years. A lot of buffalo. A lot of buffalo. That's when I was still eating. So a lot of buffalo. I've never had venison.
All right, we're going to ask one for Gianni. We're going to give Gianni one. You ready, Gianni?
Come on, G.
Yay, I'm ready.
All right. What famous Christmas song was originally written for Thanksgiving? Silent Night, Let It Snow, Jingle Bells, or Little Drummer Boy?
Shoot. I'm thinking between Let It Snow or Little Drummer Boy for some reason.
Okay.
Let me
What are you
look
picking?
at it. Nobody's helping me. Okay.
You wait for the
I'm gonna go with
comment. You going with Let It Snow?
Yes, Let It Snow.
No, that is incorrect. Incorrect.
Okay.
Jingle bells.
Let's see. No, let's see what it is.
What? Oh, okay.
Let's see. It's going to be, yes, Jingle Bells was originally composed for children to sing in a Boston Sunday school celebration. It was meant for Thanksgiving and not Christmas. All right, I'll take one. What day is Thanksgiving holiday observed in the United States? This is easy. It's the 4th. Is it the third Thursday in November? I'm going with third Thursday. I'm pretty sure that's the 4th.
No.
Damn it. Okay, I may not win this. Has anybody got one? Oh, Robbie got one right.
You know nothing about Thanksgiving.
Robbie might actually win this thing. All right, Lizzie, what traditional eating utensil was not used at the first Thanksgiving? Spoon, knife, fingers, or fork?
Fingers?
You say fingers?
No, I'm laughing at fingers.
Oh, okay. I'm sure fingers were used.
I'm gonna say a knife.
Knife. Okay, I'm thinking fork, actually.
I'm thinking fork.
Yeah, the Pilgrims ate the first Thanksgiving meal with a knife, a spoon, and their fingers. The fork was introduced 10 years later. Wow, okay. I thought it was a long time later. All right.
It was like
Robbie.
sushi. It was like sushi.
You got a firm lead right now. How many calories are there in the average Thanksgiving dinner? 1,500.
Okay, so this is American, right?
This is
Okay.
American. Yeah, you might want to go there.
This
1,500.
depends on the demographics, folks. This depends on the demographics.
That's true too. Actually.
I'm gonna
1,500,
go.
4,500, 3,000, or 6,000.
I believe in America's ability to go big or go home, so I'm gonna say 6,000.
6,000. That is incorrect. I'm thinking 4,500. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
According to the Calorie Council, the average Thanksgiving dinner is 4,500 calories. Good God.
Again, demographics. I mean, you talking mac and cheese and mashed potatoes alone with all that cream and cheese. Come on now.
Actually, yeah, because I might have been up there 6,000 last year. A couple, you do a couple of pie pieces and you're there. All right, Gianni. Which of the following NFL teams traditionally host an annual Thanksgiving game? The Cowboys, the Broncos.
Notice how I never get the sports questions. Notice how I never get the sports questions.
Pittsburgh Steelers or the New York Giants?
I'm going to go with the.
Think Thanksgiving.
Is it Pittsburgh Steelers?
That is
no.
That's incorrect. It would be the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, I have one chance.
I was thinking that.
I have one chance to tie with Rob B. I've seen some comments online. Oh, Kevin Thaxton didn't know Dallas or the Lions.
No,
Kevin Thaxton's playing along with us. He also thought 6,000 calories. All right. So for me, what was the first department store to hold a Thanksgiving parade? I mean, I want to say Macy's, but I have a feeling it's not Macy's.
I don't know two of those. Like, what's?
I don't know Gimbels and Steigers, but I'm thinking it's probably either Gimbels or Steiger. So I'm going with Gimbels.
Nice.
No easy win for you.
Nice.
All right, the Gimbels Parade, known as the Dunkin' Donuts Thanksgiving Day Parade, was held in Philadelphia in 1920. All right, this is our last chance, Rob B. All right, here we go. What? Oh, God. Rob B.
Skip that. Skip that. Come on.
All right, I'll skip it. The question was, what is the day after Thanksgiving known as?
Because Canada has only picked up on that in the last couple of years, so it is still a new thing.
But you know,
I am not throwing bows. I'm not throwing bows for a toaster.
All right.
That is.
All right, Robbie. What product owes its existence to Thanksgiving? Recliner, butter, hula hoop, or TV dinner? I think I know. I think I have a good guess.
I'm thinking TV dinner.
That's what I was thinking. That is correct. So I got to get this right. Oh, by the way.
It was that or the recliner.
In 1953, someone at Swanson misjudged the number of frozen turkeys they would sell at Thanksgiving by 26 tons. So they came up with a plan. Why not slice the meat up, repackage it, and sell it as a TV dinner? All right. Oh. In a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, what does Charlie Brown serve to his friends for Thanksgiving dinner? I actually don't know this. I am going with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh, that means Rob E wins. Is it ice cream? I think that was my second one.
And there was popcorn too.
All right, it looks like Rob B grabs the win for today. Good job, Rob B. The Canadian one. How bad is it the Canadian beat us?
What's that supposed to mean?
It's U.S. trivia. We should have known this.
I'm cooking on Thursday. I should know. And plus, Neo again gives me questions that should be easy.
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, that's good. It's good. Good rotation. I like that rotation of questions. You see Neo the Blasphemy. That's from Mike Winter. All right. Let's see the shout outs. We got some shout outs. Let's go. All right, Lizzie, shout outs today.
I saw that my stinky mama, Mel Rochelle, was watching. So shout out to my people, Melanie, Mike Winter, Daria, Jackie. Ooh, I don't know about that echo.
There was an echo from Gianni. We'll bring her back in.
Shout out to Kevin Thaxton, who I still owe, an uppercut or whatever. But, thank you all for joining us every Sunday. We certainly appreciate it.
All right, Robbie, shout out.
Shout out to Jose, who's always supporting me behind the scenes for being part of the conversation. Shout out to Mom. Shout out to everyone that has joined us again and has really been active in the conversation this evening. A lot of great questions, a lot of great comments. Keep it coming. And feel free to participate on any of our platforms.
All right, Gianni Storm, Shout out.
Hazel Valentine.
Shout out to shout out to Clark Atlanta University for finally releasing me of holding me this semester. I'm finally done with the semester, and I look forward to returning in the spring. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So you're done. So you get a nice long break.
Yes, we don't actually have to go back until February I think the first week of February. So yeah, that's a very long.
That's a sweet break.
Yeah.
Never got a break that long. All right.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, and my shout out goes. You'll see the flag behind me. It's the Ethiopian flag. Shout out to the peoples in Ethiopia. There's a civil war in Ethiopia that's being fought largely in the shadows without a lot of press. The country's prime minister have imposed a full blackout as they seek to defeat the leadership in the region of Tigray. And the phone lines have been cut, the internet is switched off, the banks are closed, there's no electricity provided, and there's 5 million people that live in this area. And they've told residents to fend for themselves. So guys, let's pray for the people in Ethiopia. It's a lot of stuff going on, civil war going on in Ethiopia. So let's pray for them. All right, that's all we've got for shout outs. That was a fun show. Thank you, Gianni, for joining us. We'll see you next time. And that's all the time we have. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out. We hope that maybe you learned something, gained a new perspective, or even got some things off your chest. Don't forget, like, follow, subscribe at TLS Live Show. If you missed any of today's show, check out our clips online on YouTube and Facebook tomorrow. B will make sure we get those out to you. Remember, you can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Alexa, you name it. You should be able to find us, Truth Lies Shenanigans Podcast, or simply go to tlspod.com. I had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you did too. Make sure you watch our next show on Wednesday, 8 p.m. It's not a live show.
We're off next week.
Not a live show. It's our pre-Thanksgiving show. We'll be sharing some of our favorite clips from previous episodes. And the show on Sunday as well will not be live. But again, we think you'll really enjoy it. We just want to go and have some fun and eat some food. So
I'm cooking on Thursday. Y'all can't come. COVID, blame COVID, but it'll be fabulous.
So guys, you have a happy Thanksgiving. And we are going to close out with Rob B, who beat us in Thanksgiving trivia. Rob B, what's our final thought of the day?
Well, I guess in honor of winning the American Thanksgiving trivia, I will wish everybody south of the border a happy Thanksgiving. Please celebrate responsibly, have fun, and just take care of yourselves out there. Be good.
And I'm going to put on some more COVID weight, I think. I gotta watch out for that.
Let's not talk about that.
Truth, lies, shenanigans, truth, lies,